Thank you for this opportunity, Abdulsattar, to have time with you in advance of the ICF Saudi MENA conference, October 10 and 11. I'm just so grateful that you've extended an invitation for me to come and spend time in your community there and offer what I can to uplift and educate and inform. Coaching has been constellated in its current form under the International Coaching Federation for now 30 years. And so you're celebrating that initiation in Saudi at the same time that we're really grounding the profession all over the world. And thank you for your service as a chapter leader and the visionary behind pulling the team together to have this conference. So thank you.
You're welcome.
As you began to imagine it, I know in your heart of hearts, you were connecting it to Transformation 2030 there in Saudi, as well as your experience across the region. What are the possibilities that you are now seeing crystallize from your mind's eye into, ooh, it's going to manifest at this conference as a result of your leadership in bringing this conference to the region?
First of all, Janet, again, it's a pleasure to have you and thank you for the question. And of course, the beauty is that now the ICF Saudi chapter is actually celebrating 10 years since it started in Saudi. 10 years. What a coincidence. Now, going back to your question, what's the possibility that I see as the president of the Saudi chapter or of the ICF Saudi chapter within Saudi for this year's MENA Coaching Summit is basically let me summarize it in one word. It's a real catalyst.
Mm.
Catalyst of our profession. What's our profession? Coaching. It's not just about, people coming over and sharing knowledge. It's about creating connections, opportunities within our region. So basically, the summit will allow us to raise awareness, and this is very vital, of coaching's value for organizations and governments. The collaboration between the different countries within the GCC, within the MENA, and how we may align our work with the major transformation that's happening within Saudi and within the MENA as a region. Now, if I go back, especially within the initiatives like Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, most importantly, it positions the MENA region not only as a receiver of coaching, but as an active global contributor to the future of our profession. That's what I would summarize. And this is what the possibilities that I see this summit would give to our region.
Beautiful. So, catalyst, both a noun and an adjective, and it can be a verb in another form, right? Catalytic. And I think that when we say coaching with a little c, the other thing you're modeling so beautifully is leaders who adopt the coaching mindset perceive more possibility. And they are engaging others to step into the faith in what's coming in the future with a lot more confidence and that sense of camaraderie that a collaborative effort provides. That was a lot of C's.
A lot of things indeed.
Thank you for this second opportunity here, Abdulsattar, to speak with you more about the conference. And, one of the things you and I have been exploring as we've been preparing for this is the idea of connection. It is all over the press, social media. It's a constant conversation that we're having, and it's so inherent in the practice of professional coaching. The partnership occurs because there is a deep presence and connectivity between an individual and the person who is receiving and or delivering the coaching, right? Two people or one to many for thinking about a team or a group. What is the cause and effect? If the cause is coaching, the process of a thought-provoking and creative conversation, what is the effect of that connection in the region? And maybe an example or two, government or corporate, or even the impact on a coach who has a vibrant partnership with their client.
Great, great. The cause and effect. Actually, as you've mentioned, we're talking about a lot of C's and we're talking about coaching. So I would start with connection. And connection has always been vital to transformation. But honestly, what really matters today and more than ever, because what's happening within our region, this ongoing cultural change, economic change, and it's very rapid. So bringing together all of these coaches, leaders, entities, corporates, semi-governments, governments, experts across the MENA, I believe we would create a shared space for learning. That's number one. Number two, innovation. And as we see today with what's happening in AI and so on. So learning, innovation, and you know what? Most importantly, support. Because we as coaches, we do support our coachees, our clients. Hence, this connection will allow us to address common challenges, allow us to elevate coaching standards. And of course, the number one in the world is ICF when it comes to standards. And lastly, to ensure our profession keeps pace with the region's ambitions. And as of today, I've seen many authorities in Saudi, many entities, not only applying coaching, but believing within coaching, where coaching has really, really supported its leaders, its managers, and these companies are really top-notch companies. And if I may end by saying, if today almost 60% of the Saudi population is youth. Now, when you say youth, what are we talking about? We're talking about future leaders.
Right.
And when we talk about future leaders, we're talking about we need to make sure that we are supporting them to become those future leaders. Hence, when different entities, whether again it's governmental, semi-government, corporates, come together at this summit, we're not only exchanging knowledge, we're shaping how we collectively develop the next generation of leaders within our region. And hence, this is what would make the summit so timely and so important in 2025.
The sharing of knowledge, the sharing of experience, the sharing of perspective, the sharing of values, the sharing of purpose. All of these are so very important. And, it strikes me also that those who are 55% of the workforce today, as you look at it globally, is age 30 and under. 55%. Which means that the other 45% are not digital natives. They grow up in a different tradition, a different structure, a different belief system, set of principles around how business operates and how government operates. And they have a younger generation that says, but it doesn't have to be like that. And they're hungry to align with something that is a visionary sense of purpose. But that can also set them up in opposition. And I think that there is something quite empowering about coaching conversations that allow the 45% to learn from the 55 and vice versa. Not right, not wrong, simply varying perspectives that, when blended, create a third that's even more magnificent.
Exactly. And if you may allow me,
Mhm,
I'm an expert in market research for the past almost 25 years,
mhm.
on top of what I do in terms of coaching. And I've sat with many, many housewives, many females, many youth. And as you've mentioned, going back to the tension, to the transformation, to the need, this is where really coaching is going to help within building their future to understand how they will become the future leaders.
Exactly. Very exciting.
Thank you.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, Abdulsattar. I'm going to have you
Whoops.
speak I'm going to have you speak for Saudi in Vision 2030, right? Um, your passion for coaching is clear, and you clearly also have quite an extensive professional background. So I'm sure you have an opinion about this, and I want you to speak it. What is the direct impact you believe coaching will bring to manifesting Transformation 2030 in Saudi?
Oh my God. Let me first say we have a great leader, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who actually had a vision, the Vision 2030. He believed in it. He's leading the country. We believed in it. And that's why today Saudi has really, really transformed and yet to transform. There's a lot going. Now, having said that, going back to what we discussed in our latest interview, 50% plus of the population today in Saudi is the youth. Now, by unlocking their potential and preparing them for the future, I may call this a systematic level of coaching within organizations. Why? Because this is going to build collaborative cultures. This is going to drive innovation. So, to make it short, in both ways, coaching doesn't just support Vision 2030, it actually will accelerate it. Why? Because it's going to support the leaders, the youth, the future of those youth that have a vision to reach and make this happen. So coaching will support our future leaders, which are the youth and the makeup of Saudi.
You know, you didn't say this word in this interview, but in an earlier one, and I'm going to bring it back because I think it underpins everything you just said, which is coaching is all about evoking awareness. It's so fascinating to me that we have this rich inner dialogue, all of us individually. We say very little of what we have in our inner dialogue out loud. And then we wonder why people don't see the value in us, or we wonder why they don't understand our vision, or why they can't get on board. I mean, can't they see that it's obvious this is a good thing? And so, awareness building, evoking awareness, that's a coaching role and a set of skills, a leader who recognizes that his or her team is not understanding what's going on, taking the chip off the shoulder and saying, oh, maybe there's more for people to become aware of. So I would add to what you said that coaching has the effect of valuing awareness building. It is the first step of any change process. What's actually occurring in the environment, and how might I amplify it? How might I help others access it? And I think these are two things your conference, as it's designed, will provide people, and it's a great value for anyone in any walk of life to join us.
You've said it and summarized it in a great way. Again, going back to the basics, yes, evoking the awareness of the youth for the future, alignment with the vision. Well said.
Ooh, another A, alignment.
Alignment. Exactly.
Thank you.
Good luck.
A volunteer leadership role in the International Coaching Federation is no small job. You know, some volunteer roles you give a few hours a month and you're kind of done. That's not true in a professional association, and it's not true specifically in coaching because it's all about people. So I wonder for you, Abdul Sadr, what has been like the defining moments for you and the things that have kept you connected to the chapter, take the risk to create this opportunity for people to come together for learning and connection, and and what part of your values and purpose does this leadership role connect with for you?
Amazing. Actually, you took me back, I think, 4 years. I'm not sure if you know, or maybe the audience who would watch this later on, is basically that before this role as president, I was actually the marketing director within the ICF Saudi chapter. And when I was interviewed for this role back about, as I've mentioned, 3 or 4 years back, actually they've asked me this question: how many hours? Because we're volunteering here. So how many hours are you ready to put on a weekly basis and you're volunteering? And you know what? I relate this to the why, which is basically your purpose, and on the other hand, your values. So one of the moments that I really felt most aligned with my values and purpose as a president was when we really brought together all these coaches, leaders, organizations. Let me give you some examples. We've done this several times. We've done this last year in the ICW, the International Coaching Week, where you bring from across the globe. And we've done this within this year's ICF Saudi chapter annual coaching gathering, where across Saudi coaches, trainers, again, some of the youth would all come under one umbrella. So for me, it wasn't just about, hosting an event. We attend events every now and then. It's about creating a space. Again, I'll go back to the connection. It's about the growth. It's about the possibility. Is it possible or not? Especially that, to be honest with you, there was a big debate about, and I think this is global, not only within the region. What does coaching give? What does it provide? Many people have questioned this. So seeing this engagement of all those coaches across Saudi, across the region, those coaches who just started their journey, and hearing their aspirations, sitting with them, what aspires you to become a coach, and watching the impact of coaching unfold in a real time actually reminded me why I took this role: to serve, and I'm volunteering to elevate the profession. It was really questioned, but no, you become a professional coach, you invest time, you invest money to reach where you want to reach today, and finally, to contribute to shaping the future of leadership within our region. Again, unfortunately, coaching has been misunderstood. However, I personally believe today, with the great team that I have within the board, that there's a huge transformation that has happened. And we see many entities today apply coaching within the kingdom.
You know, I clearly hear your value of service and leadership here in this answer that you've just given. And I hear this question a lot around the world, and obviously been doing this a very long time. In the early days, I think a lot of coaches made the mistake of assuming that the person that was seeking coaching knew what coaching was. And this is unfortunate, and not unexpected. When you stand up a brand new professional practice, why would anybody know? And the human need to know actually gets in the way of learning. Doesn't that sound like a paradox? And, the truth is, I often, when I'm with an executive in particular who's thinking about bringing coaching into their organization, I'm asking them questions about how they perceive. How do you see your operation successfully? How do you see your operation when there are obstacles? What are you paying attention to? And they realize with these questions, somewhere about 15 minutes in, hang on a second, I know a lot more about what we need to fix than I thought I did. That's right. Your very best consultants already live inside the organization. What coaching will do is support them to speak it out loud and to engage with each other in a healthier way, to problem solve, not as a personal, someone is right and someone is wrong, but everyone is right. There is a piece of truth in every person's perspective. This is the mindset shift that is available through coaching. It is its value proposition. We are activating what already is inside the organization and is laying dormant. because of the way we are relating to each other. What a beautiful opportunity at this conference for people to see that live and in color, in action, and begin to recognize the potential available to them.
Exactly, exactly. And there's a lot of potential, as you've mentioned, and still a big opportunity for coaching to grow. And I believe it will. I believe it will, certainly. Thank you.
And it is your belief that will make it so. Well, the time is clearly drawing near, Abdulsattar. The conference is right around the corner. This is my last chance to ask you a little bit more about the conference. And, this is your opportunity. It's baseball season here in the US, and we're all counting home runs. I want to see your grand slam. What is it that you want to declare to everyone that is the reason you invite them to come to this conference, October 10 and 11?
Excellent, excellent. Okay. First of all, I want to remind everyone, what's the theme of the MENA Coaching Summit? Our theme that we have created as a team for you is number one, empowering growth. Second theme, legacy of impact. And don't we all want to leave impact? That's what we want. That's what people dream of. And number three, future of innovation. Hence, if I were to distill the 2025 MENA Coaching Summit into three words, they would be empower your growth through connection. Come, connect, transform, impact. Then, finally, innovate, innovate, innovate. Why? Because innovation is the future. So, growth, connection, transform through impact, and innovate is the future. Connection or connecting, because we're bringing together coaches, leaders, experts within the region and globally. Hence, what I truly believe, this will empower your growth, whether you're an HR, you're from talent and development, you're a coach, you're a leader, you're an executive. Transformation is key. It's about creating that meaningful impact that transforms into positivity. And why do I say positivity? Because we want to change, but it has to be positive change that's coming deeply, and going back to your book, coming deeply from that tension that you have. So the tension, positive change, whether it's individual, it's organizational, it's systematic. Again, my message is for those who are still considering, this is not just an event, it's a movement. By joining, you're not only investing in your own growth, but you're also contributing to shaping the future of coaching and leadership within the MENA. What are you waiting for? Click the button. We're here for you. We're all going to grow. We're all going to transform. We're going to empower that growth through connection. Thank you very much.
And that is a catalytic moment. See everybody at conference.